Good day and welcome to another one of these videos where I go over one single frame from the Sonic SatAM Season 3 pilot. This time we'll be talking about shadows, because the original series had full shadows in every single frame, pretty much. There's some scenes where it was missing, so it's a lot of extra work. Now these balls here indicate a very crude version of Sonic and where the lighting will be coming from. For this small sequence I chose the moonlight, the moon, to be the source of light. And now I don't know why I'm trying to be so precise, it's just a rough guide. And this is the process to do the rough drawing of where the shadow should be and colour it in, and then we can clean it up with clean lines. Which will be the cleanup department's job, along with colouring and also the clean vector line. Here for Sally's head, I've got the rough painting underneath, and then I'm drawing nice, smooth, simplified shapes for the shadows. I need a bit of a warm up here, I went straight into it. There we go, and I'm using a smaller brush here, mainly because in Toon Boom, when you draw a line, I want to be deleting these lines afterwards once I filled in the gap. And if you use a big thick line, it ends up having little gaps in the where the lines connect with each other. So I try and use a thinner line so these gaps are less noticeable or just not there. Oh yes, I'm using the technique again where I cross over the lines and then I can delete them later with this wonderful tool on Toon Boom, where you can cut out a part of the line that's overlapping with another line. And I'm only drawing where the shadow needs to be. I'm not drawing the line that's underneath the clean line. So you've got the outline, I'll be clear about this, where that's in black. I have no need to go over that because of the way I'm going to approach this. So it saves me time redrawing the black line or copying and pasting it. Okay, I've removed the colours so it's easier to see. So we just have the outline, the rough shadow layer and the actual layer. Oh yes, I did copy in the clean line and paste it on in the end. I believe it's TV Paint that has this wonderful tool where you can fill colours on separate layers, so you can have a colour layer but have the colours filled in between the line art, not necessarily on the same layer as the line art. Not sure if there's one for Toon Boom. Anywho, I did it this way. So there I am, pasting in, filling in the colours, looking for any holes. Oh yes, I'm deleting these lines because the shadow overlaps. Ah yes, there's a little hole here where all the imaginary ink will be spilling out on, so you have to close that up. Haha, there's another one. Toon Boom is quite finicky when it comes to this. So you have to be extremely precise. And that's where these little vector lines that you see in the center come into play, because you can see where the information for the line is with that little orange line in the middle of the black line or red line. And that shows you where, if that's not connecting, it won't fill. If it is connecting, it will fill. In theory, but you know, computers. There's the culprit. Must be an easier way to do this. What I do is cut off sections and see if it fills or not. If it does, then I'll move on to the next bit to find that missing hole. But it does take quite a while. You can actually set the measurement for how big the gaps can be before it allows you to fill or not. However, that doesn't work too well. It seems to have problems when it comes to just small gaps, and it connects them in random moments. There we go. Whew. Now I can delete all the lines. So what I do is I just select the big masses of shadow. I made it red so it's easier to distinguish from the line. If I made it black, it'll be much harder and it'll blur in. There we go, delete all those lines I made and paste in the shadow. Now I can change its colour. And that pretty much wraps up doing how we do shadow layers. Now on to Sonic next. And now on to Sonic. Now it's going to be slightly different because as opposed to where I was drawing over the rough shadow layer with Sally, I am going to be in betweening the shadows with Sonic, which I had already drawn. I'm going to be using a technique called cutout, where I select the drawings of the lines for the shadows and just move them and skew them into position. I've got the onion skin on to help me see where to put the lines. Now the onion skin, for those who don't know, is a way to see the previous frame and the next frame in a sequence to the one you're drawing on. And that way you can just make very accurate positionings or drawings. Here you can see I'm just grabbing the line and shifting it over, copying and pasting it. There we go, it should be directly in the middle. Of course it doesn't have to be directly in the middle, it depends on the spacing of each element. So his arm, I think, was easing in and out of the swing, so I might have to favour the red for this part. I'm not sure, I can't remember. Favouring something. Yeah, it's slightly closer to the red. Now for the legs, I can't use the same technique as before because the shapes are too different, because they're moving in perspective. And so what I need to do is just redraw the shadows. And that's the shadow cast by Sonic's pair of socks. Yes, I think they're socks. They look like upturned socks sticking out of his sneakers. God, imagine how smelly they must be after he's finished running with the power ring. And just some more shifting of the lines for the hands, and it should be ready to be filled in. And I can fill that in, change the colour to black like I did with Sally, opacity, and it'll be finished. Thanks for watching.